Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for this episode 10 on No Man's Land with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, as you can see in front of us there, I have our field marked out. I did that off camera as I usually do because usually some farting around, but I'm ready to get that plowed out. I'm just kind of curious how many stumps I'm going to find in there. And I already found the log I missed. But everything is looking good on our orchards over here. Spun around the right direction here. Noisy crows. But everything is looking good here. The only other thing I did, you'll notice the money went down a little bit. I did exchange that front loader, class front loader for the small Manitou telehandler. Because I said that in the last episode, that front loader gave me some grief when I was trying to load up. So I'm going to go ahead and get this field plowed. Actually, maybe we should start because I don't think you've seen this plow working. We just got it, so maybe get a little ahead of myself here. It's actually going to make pretty short work of it with this. As you may recall, we went with a 9-meter one. I've actually never used this plow before, in the 9-meter configuration, that is. But as you can see, it rips right along here. So it won't take too long to get this field plowed out. You know, we need to do the standard, we need to lime, fertilize, and get the rocks off here. And I think we're going to put in sunflowers in here so we can throw them through our oil mill. Because it's not the time of year that we can put canola in. Our big case has no problem pulling this at all. Just this morning I noticed Alien Jim released his decoration pack for on here, so don't be surprised if next time we come back in we've got some more decorations down at Aunt Emma's. There's buildings and vehicles and all sorts of things. Also another new mod that came out pretty recently was a modular BGA, so I'm thinking we might take advantage of that on here at some point as well. Big plans for No Man's Land. Alright guys, well I'll leave you there. I'll carry on. I'll get all this plowed and I'll bring you back in just a little bit. Talk to you then. Well, as you can see, it's the next day. I got the field plowed out, and I got a lot of the stones taken off, but not all of them. I just decided to stop last night when it started getting too dark. Now, for rock picking, unfortunately, I don't know if the rest of you experienced this, but I have an issue when I try and use a worker. They don't recognize the boundaries. Like if you go around and do your own boundary around the outside, they totally ignore that, so they go right across the field, irrespective. Let's get a worker started here. And also it applies to, I find most often now, when this worker gets down to the other end, he's going to turn the wrong way and start going back over to the section he's already done. So I find most often I just have to do rock picking mostly myself. Now, if you don't care about keeping the stones, if you start a worker off in one corner of this field and just let him go, once he reaches 2,000 liters in this rock picker, he just keeps going. He still removes the rocks, but they're just basically deleted. So if you don't care, that works just fine. Now, I have to admit, I've only ever used so far this larger rock picker in game. So maybe it's an issue with just this particular model. I'm not sure. But it's just what I've experienced anyways. Sometimes I try and fool them and just start them in the middle of a strip. Now watch him make a liar out of me and go the right way this time. And I mean, he's setting himself up to go back over what's done. So, like I said, I don't know if the rest of you are experiencing that, but that's happened to me and on other maps as well, so I don't think it's a map thing. So next we need to throw some lime on here, and as well fertilizer. And then we can seed it, or plant it as the case may be. Oh, you may notice I filled this area in here so that we can mow it. So our money had gone down, but now it's on its way back up because we're processing the stone that I put in our crusher. So I'll carry on with that in a minute. I'll tell you what, I will meet you down at the store because we need to get a lime spreader and fertilizer spreader. And I need to show you something at the rock crusher, so I'll catch up with you there. Well, you may notice something different about our crusher here. There is a large water tank on top. And to be honest, like when I was loading it up this morning, I thought, oh, geez, I don't remember that thing being there. And then I went to turn our processor on, and surprise, surprise, it now takes water. So we need to put water in there along with our stones. And one thing I have to admit I didn't notice, and it was watching Mr. CVP, he had mentioned it, that it was 1,000 liters of stone in for 4,000 liters of lime out. Now we need to put in 2,000 liters of stone with 1,200 liters of water to get 4,500 out. So I actually need, I'm going to throw a couple more bucket loads of stone in there. Actually, we'll do that right now. To make up for that, I'll have to I'll do some figuring and see what I need to put in. But I am going to have to load a little bit more stone in here going forward, even to keep us at the same level of income, if you like, from our lime production. But because of this, I have upgraded our water trailer, and I sold our little one and got a larger one, and now I wish I'd have kept the little one, and I actually think I might buy it back. When we get to the farm, I'll show you the trailer I picked up, because this is going to require so much water that I just assume just leave the trailer down here because we can get water from the farm shop. It doesn't cost us anything there either. So, and actually it's a little handier because the trailer's got a larger capacity. I have to get out and turn the valve on twice on our water tower to get it filled because it times out before it's full. Yeah, it was dumping in here that I realized I don't remember that darn thing being up there, and I just hadn't thought about it. It was due for an update, and I just kind of automatically tend to do them. Should have probably read. I might not have read the update file. I might not have bothered. But it's too late now. Well, there. That'll cover off some of it anyways. I'll figure out how many buckets I actually need to put in there going forward. I brought down our produce on the way. We had some strawberries and tomatoes to sell, and old Aunt Emma was giving us the best price again, so that's kind of nice. Family connections. I updated the map as well, and as you can see, that cell point that was here is gone. It's been incorporated into just the one cell point. And there's our little Manitou. I've used this before in other maps and it works pretty good. So I just didn't want to fight with that other sucker anymore. So if we go in here, if you're watching my Constant Farm Let's Play, we had used this spreader, this modified manure spreader over here. And we did confirm that it does spread lime to 24 meters, but we only get about 16,000 liters of lime in it, surprisingly with a 3-axle unit like that. And I confirmed that you do get, actually, if you go with the Braidel and put the extensions on, you can fill it right up. You get 18,000 liters in here. The disadvantage is it runs 1 mile an hour slower, and it only has an 18-meter spread width. So just thought I'd share that because that's something I learned. So if you want more lime, and not as concerned about the spread width, the Braidel works pretty good. But otherwise, that Bergman has a pretty nice spread width on it. I think for our fertilizer, anyways, we're going to go with this, and we're just going to. I wonder if we should buy that now. You know what? I think we will, because we were going to use that, so we'll go ahead and we'll purchase that this time. But for the spreader, I think we're going to just lease. Yeah, and I think we'll just go with the Braidel. We'll put the extensions on it and the discs, and we'll just lease that. So we're all set. I checked the used equipment. There was nothing there. Well, we'll whiz back to the farm, and I will just show you that trailer, so I'll just catch up with you at the farm. Alright, we're back at the farm, and that's the water trailer I picked up holds 24,000 liters. And like I said, I sold the little one we had. It only held 6,000 liters, but I think I'm actually going to buy that back. And I'm going to take this one down and leave it and just use it down at the lime pit or rock pit, gravel pit, whatever. Um, so I just wanted to show you that. And there was one other thing, one slight change in plans. As things do, as new mods come out, if we go online here and look under production, and I think it's factories. Yes, there it is. Obotana brought out this fermenting silo so we can dump our grass straight into there and ferment it, and so we don't need to bale it or compact it. And I think we're going to do that initially. I know we had talked about doing square bales, and we'll still do that because we are going to need to put some cattle on to supply milk, at least for our factories. But to start off, just for the money making side, I think we'll put that in. I just haven't decided if we'll put it in down by our where our olive grove is, down in that flat area, or if we'll put it up in another industrial area. I haven't decided, but initially we'll do that. It saves us a little bit of money, and it's kind of in the factories, and that's what we're all about here. We want to check out as much of the factories as we can, so one slight change of plans there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and run back. I'm going to finish up that rock picking. I will get the other equipment we leased hauled down, and we'll get that field limed and fertilized. And then I guess we'll have to look for a planter to put our sunflowers in. But I'll catch up with you in a little bit. All right, I've brought our fertilizer spreader, you can see on our little case, and I have the Massey on the lime spreader here. We'll get the lime going first. I did the calculations too. I need to put in 14 buckets of stone in our crusher to match the same amount of lime that we were doing earlier. And we are supposed to increase our lime production by 10% next month. Well, at some point I think we will be doing a more automated process, but as you probably would, as things grew and expanded, you know, in any business you try and automate. So right now we got the time, or I have the time to do it, so, and I don't mind doing a little bucket work, so I'll carry on the way we're doing it. I didn't do much for landscaping either. I had mentioned that I would probably do that. I kind of made a wee mistake. I put Aunt Emma's shop is built right on the property line basically, and where I wanted to do a lot of the landscaping is out front, and we don't own that land. I would like to get that eventually, but I didn't think now was quite the right time. We're going to sit on it for just a bit, so it'll have to stay as is for now. I did put in a couple flower boxes. That was about the extent of it. Oh, and a couple evergreens I put into just to create a bit more of a barrier. Let's burn it up our lime. We'll just do it this way. This is our own lime. Any of the rocks that I've gathered off our field, I crushed and put in our silo. so it's not costing us anything to do our line. Yeah, I really wouldn't need to do this. There's lots of room for the worker to turn around, and it's our land, but kind of my habit. Well, there we go. I think we'll turn a worker loose on this. And I think we'll head to the store because we need to sort out what we're going to do for our planter. So I'll meet you there. All right, we're down here. Let's see what they have. I think I'd like to try this one. I've never used it before. We're just going to lease this time. I think we're going to wait to hopefully find something suitable used, but we're going to go with the modified version that allows us to use the entire tank for seed, because we'll fertilize with our fertilizer spreader. So we are turn fertilization off. We don't care about the license plate because we're just going to lease that, I think. Yeah. We'll hold out to try and get something used, hopefully. We have seeded our farm left over, so I'll get this to the farm and filled up and hauled out to our new field, and we'll check on our liming. Catch up with you in a bit. Well, as you can see, the field is completely lined. Now it's time to throw some fertilizer on here. One thing I forgot to mention, a difference between the Braidel and the Bergman is that the Bergman doesn't seem to have an unload function. So if you're leasing it, you know, you may not be able to unload any lime with it. At least I couldn't find any. And I didn't even think of that myself. So it was just dumb luck that we leased the Braidel, and I was able to unload the lime in it before I returned it. Alright, I'll get this finished up and I'll bring you back in when we're ready to do our seeding. See you in a second. We're finally ready to put seed in the ground. I didn't grab a front weight for this tractor. I kind of meant to, but I forgot. But we'll give it a try. It's a big enough tractor, it might be alright. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna be okay. I want to change that to sunflowers. This is going to make pretty short work of this. You can see the log I was laying over there. I haven't picked that up yet. I'll have to come in at some point and grab it. Maybe it'll sit there till we log that other section. Who knows? I haven't completely decided, but I was thinking when our crops start, come on down, there we go. When our crops come due, we may sell our little harvester we have and just lease a larger one for the time being, or maybe we can buy them used. Because it's going to take quite some time with that little harvester to harvest this field, I would think. We'll see where we're at when the time comes. Keep turning it off instead of picking it up. Yeah, this planter seems to be working pretty good. I think we might either try and pick it up used or maybe we'll purchase it at some point in the future. I know there's a Great Plains one that does everything, and I've used that so much. It's nice to use something different for a change. Okay, I think we'll let a worker carry on with this. So we need to get set up with a roller next. See if we, yeah, just rolling at this point. No weeds showing, so we'll get organized for a roller. I'll catch up with you at the store. We're down here at the store again, and I was hemming and hawing over rollers. Yeah, you know what? I think we're just going to take and lease this one. I was thinking of buying it, but I really do want to keep our funds up. I know we've got the money for it, but the setup with what I want to do with silage is going to cost us a bit. So I'll get this down to the field, and we'll get started on the road. I'll catch up with you then. Well, there can't be any better view for you Red fans than two case tractors working on the field. Sorry about that. My dog's going nuts in the background. Someone must have had the audacity to walk by the hardware store. Our house is on Main Street in the small town we live on, and we're the first house at the end of the kind of commercial area, and so kind of almost kitty corner to us is the local home hardware store. And our dogs get annoyed when they walk in unannounced for some reason to the hardware store. Just make sure we give this big guy enough room. Just using the Landini's best way to get an aerial view, I figured. Ah, there we go. We'll let those guys carry on. We'll put the Landini back in the shed, and we'll catch up with you when they are finished. Well, there we go. A field of sunflowers. With those sunflowers, our olives over there, and the canola we already have in. Uh, Certainly, I would think more than pay for our oil mill. I think we're going to call that a day here on the farm. I think we've had a busy couple days. I think shutting her down a little early and retiring to the front porch and having a beverage is acceptable. So, and that's going to be an episode. So if you're still with me, really appreciate you watching. If you're enjoying the content, I encourage you to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to get notified when new content drops, hit that notification bell. Probably won't see you now for a couple days. I'm just going to take care of our productions, and come the beginning of April, we'll get set up and we'll do some silaging. So Until next time, Farmer Murphy signing out.